Hello, and welcome to the Prince George's County Board of Elections. We are here today to do a public demonstration on the voting equipment that will be used for the 2024 special election for Councilmanic at-large position. My name is Wendy Honesty Bay. I am the elections administrator, and here to do the demonstration today is Michael Colbert and Darren Sumter, and I will take it away.
Good morning, everybody. We are here this morning to do a demonstration on the two pieces of voting equipment that we have, the ballot marking device and the DS200. The ballot marking device is an accessible piece of equipment which anybody can use, but it's primarily for people with handicaps or disabilities. And then we have the DS200, which is the scanning machine, which all ballots that are voted in the precinct go through the scanning machine, unless it's a provisional ballot. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate the ballot marking device while explaining what we do during the LNA process, and Darren is going to demonstrate the DS200. Okay, so what we always do starting LNA is we check the physical condition of the unit, so we've already done that, but what we do is Darren will check the machine, make sure the wheels are working and it rolls properly, and I'll inspect the BMD to make sure that the screen doesn't have any cracks, that it isn't buckled or broken or anything like that. So that's the first thing we do, is check the physical condition of the units. And with our LNA tests, really what it consists of is us testing the equipment to make sure that the ballot marking device prints out like it's supposed to, and that the DS200 tabulates the votes correctly. So we have a test deck, which is a pre-printed ballots for the DS200, and then we have the ballot activation cards for the ballot marking device, which I will create a matrix, so to speak, to put through the DS200. It's a simple voting sequence. So basically, with every race, you vote the first candidate or selection in each race. But with this being a special primary election, it's only one race. So it's a very fast process as compared to our normal elections, which consist of many more ballots and ballot styles. So right now, Darren's going to go ahead and unlock the DS200 and get that opened up and powered up, and I'm going to power on the ballot marking device. Now what happens is, once we power these machines on, before every election, we have to do what we call a qualification process. So we'll take a special memory stick and we'll pop that into the machine. Each machine has a memory slot for that. And what we'll do is we'll put in the code, and what the qualification does, it does what it says. It qualifies the machine for the current election that we're programming for. So both machines have been powered on. It takes about 3 minutes for the DS200 to fully power up, and it takes about 5 minutes for the ballot marking device to power up. So bear with us while that happens. In the meantime, what we usually do is we check the machine, the DS200, to make sure it has enough paper in it. And then we also check the doors to make sure there are any old ballots from any previous elections that may have happened to fall down inside or left inside the machine, which it never is, but we always check anyway, just to make sure. Also, the ballot marking device, with that being a piece of accessible equipment, we make sure we have headphones for people that are hearing impaired, and the keypad for them to use as well for anybody that may be hearing and or visually impaired. Okay, now the DS200 is fully powered up, and Darren is going to take the qualification media, pop that into the DS200, and then enter the qualification code. And again, what that does is it qualifies the machine. It wipes off any old election information, and it qualifies it for the new election or current election. DS200 is now printing a configuration report. What a configuration report is, it's just all of the vital information, just like when you turn on your laptop or your personal computer. It has the memory that is available and all of the vital information, battery charge information and all that. So every time you pop a memory stick in, it lets you know, okay, I've received this memory stick here with vital information and things like that. So Darren just entered the qualification code, and now it says initialization has completed successfully. He'll take the qualification stick out, and he'll put in the election media definition stick. Put in that code, and then that will load the current election. While Darren is doing that, I'm going to put in the qualification code for the ballot marking device. It says, please wait, clearing and initializing. And the DS200 is loading election. Once the election loads in the DS200, you notice it's printing again. That's another configuration report to let you know that the election has been loaded. At the same time, the ballot marking device has finished clearing and initializing, and I'm going to take the election media for the ballot marking device, insert that. Okay. Simultaneously, the DS200 election media has been loaded. Now what Darren will do is press open poll, and what that will do is it'll open the poll and it'll automatically print out the zero totals report. So when we start LNA, we make sure that the machine has zeros all across the all races on the printout, and then we'll do our testing, which is enter the test deck ballots and the ballots that I create from the ballot marking device. We'll put those through the DS200, and then once we do that, we'll end the election on the DS200, take that memory stick over to our server, upload those results, make sure that we have the expected results from the state. We'll do our checks with the state and make sure that they are correct, and once we do that, we'll bring the memory stick back to the DS200, clear it out. So at the end of LNA, we'll have zeros to show that the machine started with zeros. It has the totals to show that it tallies the totals correctly and accurately. And then when we bring it back, we clear it out to make sure it's zeroed before it goes out to election day. All right, so Darren is gonna go to voting mode, and he's gonna start entering the ballots into that machine, and I'm gonna enter the election code and create the ballots from the ballot marking device. Like I said, it won't take long at all because we only have one race for the special election. So for the special election, we have two ballot styles. One is the Democratic ballot style and one is the Republican ballot style. The first ballot I'm going to do is the Democratic because that's the first one listed. So I'll select the first candidate of every race. This is only one race and it's vote for one, so I selected one. If it was vote for two, I would select the first two. If it was vote for three, I'd select the first three, but it's just vote for one. And my vote has been finished for the Democratic race. Now, for the second one, which is the Republican, I'm going to do the same thing, vote the first race in that ballot, but what I'm going to do is, because this is a piece of accessible equipment, we must test the hearing and the keypad. So I'm not going to put the earphones on, but I'm going to put them up to my ear. Okay, now I was able to hear all of the menu selections and make all of my selections with the keypad. That works and it checks out fine. Now, Darren's going to enter the last ballot for the DS200. Okay, then once that is done, we finished off voting out all of our ballots. Darren's going to press the close poll button to simulate closing the polls on election day. And he's going to get us a couple of prompts to continue to close the poll, which he's done. And once that happens, it automatically prints out 2 copies of the total report. That's what it's doing now. Once that happens, he turns the unit off, and it takes about a minute to fully power down. We had to make sure that everything powers down correctly and properly because we don't want anything to get corrupt. Once that happens, all power lights go off on the screen. The technician will pull the definition memory stick, and we will go over to the server to upload the results to the state. So we come over to the server, we upload the results to the state, and once we get our checks from the state that all of the expected results match, we come back to our workstation. The technician gets the memory stick back, and he'll put it into the DS200, power the DS200 on. It'll take a couple of minutes, just like when we first started. But in the meantime, the testing for the ballot marking device is completed. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead over here and turn off the ballot marking device. And the ballot marking device takes a couple of minutes to power down. Once the DS200 powers back up, Darren is prompted to put in the election code again. And like always, it prints a configuration report every time. Every time you do something, every time you turn it on, every time you put a stick in, you take a stick out, it will print a configuration report. It's a long configuration report. Okay. So now we have this back, the stick back. What we have to do is clear out the votes for the current election. So Darren will put in a series of codes that the machine is asking for, override codes. And this is something that the public will never have. And it says declare votes and continue. So this is nearing the end of this process where it's clearing, it successfully cleared the voting totals. So now what we have to do is print a zero report and we'll print the zero totals to show that the machine started with zeros, it had totals, and then before it went out for election, it's zeroed out. So there we have that. Now that's finished. He can turn the machine off. He'll close it, lock it, seal it, and I'll do the same with the ballot marking device. And that pretty much is the LNA process for the ballot marking, the ballot marking device and the DS200. Thank you.